All right, what is it you're telling Brian? What is the reason he is denied?
Because we do not have a physician certifying his disability at this point in time. A current physician certifying his disability. As I indicated to him, we received his office visit that he submitted back from November, and the doctor that he saw then for his annual wellness referred the disability paperwork to his specialist, which would be a neurologist. So he is not certifying his disability, and that's what we need in order to submit out his claim.
Okay, how often do you need certification from a neurologist?
Currently, he's on a 6-month update, so we do it every 6 months. What I'd like to do is once we get the information in, I'd like to put him on an annual review, but I can't even do that until we get updated medical documentation and certify his disability.
So you have the information from his neurologist that was sent to you from March 9th of last year, right?
That's almost a year old. Yes, we have that in his file, and we cannot use that to extend him out.
Okay. No one has ever told us, Margaret, that he needed to have neurologist certification every 6 months. You've been sending, the last 2 years we've had papers every 8 months. No one's ever told us this. Brian's primary care physician retired. He had to see a new one. We were dealing with the pandemic like everyone else. His new primary care physician wanted him to see a neurologist he knew. This was someone Brian had seen years ago, and he decided to go back to his original neurologist. And he has that appointment set up for April 12th, which is the first appointment he could get in. Now, what are we supposed to do if we can't get an appointment with a neurologist? And we have no idea from you that you need it every 6 months. We've not been giving it to you every 6 months. It's been every 8 months. As you can see back in the records, I have the dates right here.
It's like 8 or 10 or something like that. Not quite a year, but yeah, it's somewhere.
Yeah.
It starts about it. Seems every 10.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, guys. All right, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we sent the papers into you that were due December 16th of 2020, 8/19, 2021, 4/12, 2022, and 12/6, 2022. So, okay, so let me... Right. Okay, I want to know why, if you go back and look at the information that we sent you in December of 2020, you have the information from Social Security Disability. They have approved him, and they want to update his eligibility every 5 to 7 years. No one notified us of this. They said they wanted some papers. There's nothing in writing. I don't understand how you can take a handicapped person. I'm a little upset, so I'm going to calm down. Margaret, I know this isn't your fault. You're not making the rules. But how can you take a man who has lesions on his brain, as you can see from the papers, read the Social Security Disability stuff from 2020. He has lesions on his brain. This stuff is complicated. He needs help with it. You see that every 8 months we write that up and send it in, as painful as it is for both of us. For a man to admit he can't work anymore and this is confusing. There's nothing in writing. There's nobody we know. He called back and left a message, and now all of a sudden you're taking his livelihood away after he worked 18 years for AT&T, through all this disability, through all this MS? I do not understand. But Margaret, for starters, who is your boss, please?
My boss is Utah.
I'm sorry, what is that, please?
It's the computer.
Sure. Like Brian is Brian, so we don't think all are related. Trust me, I know I'm not related to them.
Okay, so I've got my phone around. And there's the same 866 number doing is you're calling into our service center, and then they direct the calls from there. Okay?
Yeah, and it's really hard to get a hold of you people. And then who is Louisa? Okay, so are you not, we've been talking to an attorney. Are you not required to notify someone in writing if you are denying their benefits and taking away their livelihood?
Yes, that denial letter has been released.
Man, we don't have.
I still don't got that. Yeah, I thought I was gonna get it yesterday, maybe.
You don't give us any advance notice? You just take people's money away so they can't pay their house payment? No, seriously, when was the letter sent?
Okay, I'm looking it up for just a moment.
I got a message like Thursday or Friday, so it couldn't have been, it's about a week ahead of time. So I got 7 days notice on the phone.
Okay, it is dated the 23rd of February, and I would be more than happy to send that out to you.
Okay, I would like to give you my email address, and I need to be notified. I want you to.
I cannot email a denial letter to you. I absolutely cannot do it. I'd be more than happy to send it out again. For the long
How do you send it? How do you send it?
I'm sorry.
How do you send it? Okay, so how do you? Okay, so it was sent 1223 regular mail. We do not have it.
Okay. I would be more than happy to send it out again.
Okay, can you give people a week notice on a denial? There's no time to do anything now. Tomorrow his house payment is due. This is how you deal with handicapped people?
And he has been paid for February. His termination is 3 months. So
Okay, so is he going to get money tomorrow or not?
yes, he's been paid through the 28th of February, and he's
What
denied
does that
as
mean?
of March 1st.
Margaret, I don't know what you're saying. Please listen to my question. Is he getting money in his account?
I answered your question. He's being paid through June 28th of 2023.
Okay, I'm writing this down. When does he get that money? Have you already given it to him in advance, or do you pay in arrears?
We pay at the last business day of the month, which would be today. We should have it. You should see it tonight if it hasn't dropped in. It depends on how his bank works, but that has been released to him. So our payroll closes back before the end of the month, and it's due to him by the last business day of the month that he should see it in his account. And it's payable for the first of the month through the end of the month, and we pay at the end of the month. So he is receiving a payment for February now.
Okay, that's all I'm trying to find out. And you're saying we pay through this. So just let's try to make sure we understand each other. So he should see it tonight in his account. And we have how long to appeal? What is the appeal process? We don't have any idea. You've given us nothing in writing.
Like I said, ma'am, I would be more than happy to read that out, but I'll certainly tell you, you can submit it in a letter. It needs to be signed and dated that you agree with the determination, the denial of the claim. And I can give you the fax number and or it can be sent to the email. So I can do both. I can give you both.
Okay.
So the fax number is 17.
And you want me to send what, a letter stating that we're appealing? Is that what you want?
Yes, that you disagree with the termination of the claim. And his name and his claim number should be in there as well, so that it can be electronically attached to his file, and then it's pulled over to the appeals unit.
Okay, so we won't be dealing with you anymore?
It would go to the appeals unit, and then if they overturn it, it would come back to the appeals unit.
All right. what are they going to require? Because we can't get in to see the neurologist until April 12th. That's just the way the neurologist is. They don't care about whatever. You get an appointment when you can.
And what I had suggested to Brian is to go back to the PCP that he saw in November, to ask him to certify his disability and provide some information with regards to his exam findings as it relates to his MS, so that and he can put that in narrative form, meaning he can write a letter stating that this is Brian's diagnosis, this is his current condition, these are the clinical findings and the objective findings, if you will, that support that he remains disabled, and he can submit that in to us for review. That's because Brian told me he doesn't have an appointment until April, and I advised him that that is a way that he can get us the information that we need, because his provider, as I told Brian, and I'm telling you, referred his disability paperwork to a specialist. We do take information from primary care physicians who provide us with the findings, the information we need in order to certify the disability. We can certify Brian's disability. That's all we would need, and we would be able to review that for reinstatement.
Well, wouldn't it be nice if you had told us this in December, when we had time to avoid this denial? Is this a big secret? How are people supposed to know this? If I sound like I'm angry, you had better believe I am. You are treating a disabled person horribly. Do you have any medical training? No, seriously, do you think MS gets better? There is no cure. There is absolutely no cure. Okay, so you cannot tell us what you need.
Let me just advise you, ma'am. Under his plan, I understand you indicated Social Security has found him disabled in 2020, and he has to be reassessed every 5 to 7 years. That Social Security requirement, he's being paid long-term disability under his LTD long-term disability plan. And under his plan, he is periodically required to submit a medical
I'm literally
application
picking
to continue to
my
certify
fingernails with
disability.
both hands
That's
right
the
now.
requirement of his long-term disability plan.
Okay, and you just said periodically. You have never told us what the period of time is. We were sending it to you periodically for years, and then all of a sudden, we still haven't been notified anything in writing. Do you know what an attorney's going to say about this? And trust me, I'll pull the money out to get the attorney. And honestly, Margaret, I know this is not your idea of the plan, but if he has MS and all the papers tell you this is confusing and difficult about the white matter on his brain, about the leg, about all the stuff, I would like you to go back and look at the Social Security disability papers specifically, and I really want you to do this. I really want you to go look at page 3 of 4, the last paragraph on the Social Security disability, and understand that somehow people have to treat people better. Now, we were not aware that you needed doctor information every 6 months. And for starters, that's not true, because I have the papers right here. We've been sending it in every 8 months. His primary care physician, he would see for one of them, and his neurologist for the next one. But his primary care physician got COVID and got very sick and ended up retiring without any information. I mean, how do you not give people time? Let them know they're being denied on the very end of the time. Now, we thought we were getting no money effective tomorrow, and as a matter of fact, I'm on my way to Brian's credit union to put some money in so that his house payment won't bounce. How do we find out what these guidelines are so that we can meet them?
We update, at this point, we start our update every 6 months. So since January of 2019 going forward, we start our updates in 6 months, and we pay it out 8 months to allow us 60-day period of time to send the documentation out so that we can get the medical back in that time period, so there's no interruption in the extension of benefits. The issue that we're having right now, ma'am, is that we don't have anything
right there. You have only been asking for these papers every 8 months. So when you're telling me every 6 months, that's just not true. And I don't know how we can continue a conversation when we can't agree on the calendar. I have right in my hand, as I pulled over on this side street, every 8 months. The papers were due December of 2020, and then not again till August of 2021, and then not again till February of 2022, and then not again till December of 2022. That's every 8 months, Margaret. Why are you telling me 6 months?
I'm telling you, we pay him out every 8 months to allow us to start the medical update on the 6th month, ma'am. In order
so what is your 6 months?
Between the 6 months to the 8 months, so that we can get the medical documentation in and we can extend it out. He is paid out 8 months, but we begin our medical update in the 6-month period of time. Right now, what we need is we need to have documentation from a physician certifying his disability, that he remains disabled. That's what we need in order to extend out benefits at this time.
All right. Can you send those papers?
I will absolutely send the denial letter. I just need to confirm the address, please.
The address is 17.
Address, please.
Sorry, excuse me. Did you? Okay, you want the address?
Okay, that's what I have. What I will do, I will go ahead and send out that denial letter. It will go out today.
Okay, can you send it overnight? Can you send it overnight? We need it to get to the doctor to get... Okay, so you can't fax it and you can't send it overnight. So we're not going to get it till after he's denied. You're saying he's denied as of today and we have no notification in writing of that. Is that legal to deny people with notifying them in writing and no signature required? When they wanted him to renew his yearly insurance, they sent him a letter with signature required. I don't understand how you can best handicap people like this. And with their retired mothers who are trying to help them out. Do you know the stress that this causes us and what stress does to MS?
I'll go ahead and get that out as quickly as possible today. I can certainly fax it to a secure fax if you have a secure fax. You also have the option, as I stated, to appeal it. You don't have to wait to receive the termination letter. You can submit that in. You can fax it in, and like I said, the other option is you can email it in as well. You can email that letter, but again, it must be signed and dated. If it just comes in that you're appealing the termination and it's not dated or signed by Brian, they will reject it. There are specific parameters, and that is that it has to be signed and dated, that letter. So I can certainly give you the email address as well to have that sent in if you like.
Sure.
It's ATIC, and I'll spell that for you. It's SEDGWICK.com. And I would, of course, as I said before, please make sure his name and claim number is on the information that you're sending, like the subject line.
So we're just supposed to send you a letter? There's no appeal process, there's no appeal form, there's nothing like that. We're just supposed to write a letter and send it?
The appeal form is in the denial letter that's going out to you today. However, you're not required to complete that form. You can put it in the letter and send it in here.
Okay, with the claim number, one of the things from the other. Okay, I have a secure fax, but I'm not home right now. I could arrange for you to fax that to my secure fax at 1 o'clock Eastern time if you can do that. I'll be home then and I can make sure the fax answers it.
Yep, what I'll do is I'll have the list send that over via fax, and your secure fax number is here.
I'm looking that up right now. I don't want to lose you on my phone. You're on the car phone, so I've got to find my phone. And I don't even know where my phone is. Yeah, just give me a minute, please. I'm looking for it. We would like to have that.
Hi, Dan.
All right, I'm going to try not to lose you while I look it up.
That's fine.
Okay, it is 933.
All right, let me just repeat it back to you so I make sure I have it correct again. I had 33, and that's to be sent at 1 p.m. Eastern time, correct?
Yes, please. And then we can get going right away. I'm getting the write-up from his primary care physician, who he did see, certifying his disability. You are going to try to put it so he's on these forms once a year, since MS is not curable. And we will send in with the primary care physician that he states, yes, he wanted to refer Brian to a neurologist that he saw a year ago, and he decided to stick with the neurologist he's been seeing for 10 years. So between all this stuff, I just am beside myself that there's been nothing in writing sent with how to appeal or how to fix this. Brian got a phone call a while ago.
Ma'am, as I stated, that letter went out, you haven't received it. And I don't know why you didn't receive it. I don't know. I don't know why you haven't received it.
You just sent it 5 days ago, for crying out loud. It might be in his mailbox today. You give people, he's denied as of today, and you send a letter 5 days in advance. That's not enough time to redo this.
I've been checking it with my phone camera, and when I open up the mailbox, if it's in there, I have not gotten any letter from Sedgwick about this issue. Like nothing.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite make it out. So what did you say? I apologize.
I'm just saying that I'll document as well as I can, but I have not received a letter from Sedgwick in the mail about this issue. All I've received was a voicemail and a phone call back in November, or I think December. Yeah, we're printing phone records too, but yeah, it was in December, and nothing written, no letters sent. I tried calling back and I couldn't leave a message, and here we are.
Yeah, you've had this since December. Could you have sent a letter right away? We need this. I just would like you at your next meeting to bring up how horribly you are treating disabled people. So, that's all. I hope it's in his mailbox. I will be home at 1 o'clock to get the fax, and we'll start working on it right away. Is it possible we will get this taken care of in time that he will get his money next month?
Our payrolls have been closed until like the 21st or 22nd of March, ma'am. And it sounds to me like you're going to be working on it right away. As long as that information comes in, I'll ask Melissa to look at it on a priority basis, and we should be able to look at it right away. So as soon as you can get that information into us, I encourage you to do so, as quickly as possible, and we'll review it on a priority basis for reinstatement.
Of course we will. My goodness. He worked 18 years with MS limping around for these benefits. There's no way we're going to not do it. We would have done it a month ago had anybody told us what needed to be done. And when you're dealing with handicapped people, you have to send stuff in writing. And in 5 days, I don't know where you're mailing it from, but it sure didn't get here.
Well, but
Listen, I'm going to calm down. Brian and I are going to take care of this. In the meantime, is there any way to add, well, I'll discuss with the rest of this with Brian, but we have to be notified of what it is you want. We had no idea. No idea. I don't have the money to just do this, and neither does Brian.
yeah, I don't even know what to. The doctor that's been referred to me that I do want to see wasn't accepting, didn't have open enrollment for patients at that time. And I knew that my paperwork was coming up for you guys. And that's, one of my primary drives too is to get the paperwork in, so I don't have to go through this. And I went and saw that new doctor against my better judgment. They were not that great of a doctor. You agreed. You said you didn't get the paperwork that you needed. I'm in the process of, setting up a new appointment to see one. I have an appointment with my neurologist that I've had for 15 years now. And yet, here we are. So I've been trying my butt off to get this done, also just to even have someone see me, period, and not just talk to me on the phone. But I'm being denied. So it's crazy. It's weird. I have no letter. I've had no written confirmation. I have a voicemail basically saying that I'm denied. And I love all the documentation, but I can't believe it's happening.
No, and now it's like today, the day of the denial, it was when we're finding out that his primary care physician can do the proper documentation. So we're going to get in there with the paperwork, with all the existing paperwork, and get that doctor to write this up.
That doesn't make sense because they're denying me because I saw my primary physician and not my neurologist. So how is he able to later then just sign me off for what? I'm confused.
Sir,
Yeah.
Let me just restate what I stated to you before your mother came on the line, and that is the information that we received in November. Your doctor did not complete the disability paperwork. He referred you to the specialist. So if he had certified you in the information that we received in November, we would not be where we are now. It's because
That's where I've always been though. I wasn't able to see my neurologist 3 years ago unless I had a referral. And yet that didn't seem to hold anything up.
And you wait 2.5 months and deny him to tell us that.
That's confusing to me. So 3 years ago I needed a referral and now you're holding the process up because one was submitted.
No, because she's saying the doctor didn't write it up right, and it takes her 2.5 months to tell us. Listen, I think we know what we need now.
I
I've got a couple
feel like the
of other
doctors
things.
and them are working together or something.
Yeah, and we'll be talking to our attorney too about how Sedgwick treats disabled people. So, listen, I know you put up with a lot of crap, and I know I am being just as mean as I can be without swearing because I try not to swear. But this is just unacceptable. Now that we know what to do, we can do it. It would have been nice had somebody told us this 2.5 months ago. And I hope you can put Brian on yearly because that's what the insurance will pay for is yearly appointments.
We'll see.
So,
I will go ahead and make sure that Go ahead, ma'am.
yeah, I was going to say, well, thank you. Thank you for all the information. Nobody has told us this. Brian, do you have any other questions?
No. Was that from? No, I do not have any more questions.
Okay.
I need to talk about this with you now.
Both have
I'm sorry, what?
I'm done. I'm done. I was just saying I got to talk to you more, Ma. But yeah, I'm done.
Okay. All right. Then I will let you both go. I'll document the file. We'll get that out to you at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Brian,
Uh-huh.